There's a lot of women out there who have spouses who it feels like you want to get a conversation going, you want to talk things through, but there's this, I'm just going to say, stereotype of men shutting down.
Absolutely. The stereotype is real because it happens a lot.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's right. So, like, this is a very common problem across generations, really, and it happens when a man starts to not share deeper things. He starts to shut down, especially those vulnerable places of his heart. So, his hopes and dreams. If your man's not sharing hopes and dreams or fears with you anymore, that's probably a little red flag there that he's starting to shut down those kind of deeper parts of his heart towards you. But then the real issue becomes when he won't start a conflict, or he won't start a conversation that is hopefully going to lead to some kind of resolution and unity and closeness again, because you understand each other better.
Yeah. I feel like this is one of those insidious problems because on the surface, it actually might look like everything's just calm and okay in your marriage because there's no conflict going on.
That's right.
But perhaps there is something under the surface that's not being addressed.
That's right. So Patrick Lencioni, in his book 5 Dysfunctions of Team, he writes about this thing called artificial harmony. He says when there's a fear of conflict, on the surface, you've got peace, you've got harmony, but it's artificial because underneath there's something still going on that you haven't processed properly. And so we want to overcome this fear of conflict, but to do that, we have to talk. We have to actually get it out there. And so some men have been taught, either by their fathers or their grandfathers to we don't just express emotion and men don't cry and, we don't talk about our feelings and things like that. Sometimes it's a bit of a generational, hand-me-down principle, concept, mindset that we've grabbed a hold of, or even just a worldly concept too. I've picked it up, with my friends and stuff that I don't talk.
Is there an element of, if I do talk, then I am going to be seen? Do you know what I mean? And I don't.
You've got to be vulnerable.
And my bravado and my front is going to come down, and I've actually got to let somebody know me truly.
Well, that's intimacy, isn't it? So intimacy is into me, see. I'm letting you see what's really, truly happening inside of me. So when there's been, I guess, some hurt or, if I start to share something with Aaron and he, that's a little bit deep and he just brushes it off, or he just oh, yeah, that's pretty funny, and then moves on, I start to realize I can't share deeper things with Aaron. And that happens in married couples all the time. I think that, after work, we use story to test for acceptance.
Yeah.
So we come home, we're telling a story. Oh, this is what happened in my day. This is my crazy coworker. This is what she did again. Blah, blah, blah. Or in your case, this is what my crazy coworker, this is what he did again.
He will not stop talking.
Right? And then we kind of use stories to test the water. How much are they paying attention? Are they loving me in this moment? Are they accepting me in this moment? And then I'm able to start sharing something a little bit deeper. But when I start to open up a little bit and that's not met with gentleness, that's not met with curiosity, then I start to think I can't share deeper things with this person right now. And if that becomes a habit and a pattern, then you've got a person, whether it's the husband or the wife, you've got a person who starts to not share deeper things. And that's a real problem for a relationship.
Is there an element as well, you sort of talked there about maybe carrying lessons from past generations and maybe it's not always the case of we've been told don't express emotions, but I know sometimes when we come to things like gender roles, sometimes I think the idea we have as the man of wanting to be strong for our partner, supportive for our partner, kind of we've got this. Do you think there's a fear of maybe having to own up to maybe I'm not carrying all this as well as I would like them to think? True.
But even that requires vulnerability, doesn't it? That requires me saying, this is what I feel like we're going through right now. And that takes guts. That takes a level of boldness and courage to put that out there. I don't know that I can deal with this properly, and being able to just speak out, naming the emotion or naming the thing that you feel like is happening, even if it's wrong. That's a vulnerable act. You know, that's an act of I'm putting my heart out here. I remember what Brené Brown said. She said that vulnerability is giving someone the opportunity to hurt you and trusting that they won't. And so, like, when you have felt, even if when you felt vulnerable a few times and you felt like that wasn't met with the kindness that you might have needed or the generosity or the gentleness that you needed in the moment, like maybe that's a reason why some men just go, well, it's safer for me to bottle it. It's safer for me to not speak because then I'm just going to disrupt the peace of what's going on. I don't have to change. Like, nothing's going to change. You know, we can just keep it the same. I know how everything works.
Yeah.
Everything. I know the expectations of me and of her and of the family. But if I open my mouth, something might change, and I've got to, we might change. And so we might disrupt something a bit deeper. But ultimately, that's what relationships are all about. We're all about depth and knowing. You can't have intimacy without those deeper conversations.
Now, if so, one of these reasons why men shut down is just maybe taught never to open up, old mindsets from previous generation.
Yes.
Talk to the woman and talk to the man in that circumstance if that is their scenario. If they're listening going, oh, that's me, or oh, that's my partner.
That's us.
What would you say to them?
Look, I think naming what it could be is a powerful thing, and then providing the platform of acceptance of I will always accept you. Like, I want to listen to you. I want to hear what's going on in your heart. I'm interested in you. I'm curious about you and the deeper things in your world. You know, you're allowed. It's safe to share with me. It's safe to open up to me. Like, you've got to not just say that. You've got to be that. You've got to be the safe person for the other one to open up. And when they start to share something a little bit deeper, that's the key moment for you to lean in and ask questions and try to understand what is truly going on in their heart and in their mind.
Darren, we shared earlier about it could possibly be from, learnt behaviour from generations passed down, and this is maybe what the man is meant to be like. But there's so many other reasons why a man might shut down, and one of them is fear of being wrong again.
Yes. I face this. I face this a number of times, when you feel like you need to share something, like there's a problem in your relationship, you've identified it, and you're like, I'm not going to stay silent, I'm going to put it out there, but if I do, well, it's probably just going to be my problem again. Maybe I'm just the cause all the time. And so now whether that's true or not, but if a husband feels like that's the case, if I share, I'm probably in the wrong anyway, then he might just not share. He might not talk about the issue. And in a relationship, you don't want there to be a fear of conflict, because conflict is how we learn. Conflict is how we understand each other deeper. It's how we work through issues. It's how we apologize. It's how we forgive. Conflict is a really important part of a healthy relationship. And so we don't want to run from conflict. And so when one person is running from conflict, then that's a red flag, because actually we need to be free. We need to be open. We need to be okay and safe to be vulnerable, to share the issue. So if he feels like I'm just going to be the bad guy again, this is all that's going to come back, and I'm going to have to do the work to fix the issue because it's always going to be me, he's going to just keep shutting down.
Something my wife and I sort of introduced in our marriage was dealing with this, because we had a lot of this kind of issue early on in our marriage where I was like that. I'm like, I'm an external process. I know I've got a feeling. I don't know what it is. So I know the moment that I express it, I don't have a clear answer to what's going on.
Yep.
There is a chance at the end of this, it'll in the back and forth, that I'll be like, oh, I'm wrong about this or whatever. So I used to shut down a lot and just avoid it and kind of be like, oh, whatever, I'll make sure my wife's happy kind of thing. But we developed the
happy wife, happy life,
exactly,
right? Yeah, and that doesn't work.
Yeah,
anyway,
it doesn't work.
Don't get me started.
One of the things we introduced is this idea of there are no wrong emotions or no wrong feelings.
Great.
As in, let's talk it through and explore why someone's feeling the way it is. But basically, it's like when you say, I'm feeling this, what we're both recognizing is it's a feeling, whether or not it's a reality. And actually, that's okay. Give your partner space to express those things,
great.
rather than feeling like you have to answer the problem or shut it down because you think they're wrong.
Like I love that, because you're giving your partner space to just express themselves without it being completely accurate and completely like, well, you've processed this completely and this is my finished, complete thought.
Yeah.
You know, like, actually, no, this is how I'm feeling and blah, 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 blah. And that's okay. The mess is okay.
Yeah.
It's okay for it to get a little bit messy in the middle. We're trying to work it out together. Like, one of the issues is when it becomes me versus you.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest problems. Like, you got to imagine that in a fight, you're sitting together and the problem is like out there. It's over there. Like, we're trying to solve this problem together. It's not me versus you. We're on the lounge together, and let's imagine that on the coffee table is the problem. And we're trying to work out how the problem works, how it's affecting us, and what we can do together to solve the problem, regardless of whose fault the problem really is. Because we're a team. Like, we have a stupid saying that we have in our marriage, and it's always team, always. It's always team, always. We're never not a team. We're never not in covenant relationship with one another. We're never not trying to honor and respect and love each other, but sometimes that means dealing with a bit of mess. So if we're not prepared to rock the boat, all we're going to have is false peace. All you're going to have is artificial harmony. So you've got to like put the problem out there and then sit side by side and go, okay, how are we going to solve this problem together? And you're allowed to be expressive. You're allowed to have feelings. Feelings are valid. They're not always accurate. That's important, because I'm allowed to express feelings even if they're wrong. Even if that's how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
That's good. That's valid. It might not be my end feeling. Hopefully the end feeling is that, okay, we sorted this out and now we're good now, right?
Yeah.
You know, we're closer. We're more unified. We're in agreement more than what we were before the issue started.
I feel like some of those, like, I guess as a practical example, some of those, in inverted commas, wrong feelings, like, you know, they often have phrases like, I feel like you never, or you always.
Right.
And they're the ones that you go, and it's like, but you need to be able to speak them out, but be willing to then talk through the honesty afterwards, right?
That's exactly right. Like, you need to be willing to be wrong.
Yeah. That's
okay. It's okay to be wrong. But we also need the safety and the security in the relationship, and that sense of I'm accepted no matter what. I'm accepted no matter if I'm having it. Like, I love that my wife gives me a bad day. She's like, it's okay. It's a bad day. Like, tomorrow, and I'm like, how many bad days do you allow in a row here? Right?
It's okay. It's a bad year.
It's just a bad decade, you know. Like, but there's a sense of I'm safe in the relationship. I'm okay to be myself because there's this foundational level of covenant love and covenant acceptance. And that, like covenantal love is more than just, you know, till death do us part. Covenant love is I'm here for you in the messiest of your inner world. You know, I'm a safe person for you no matter what. You can share anything with me. I'm not going anywhere. I want you to share what's going on. I'm safe for you. You know, you're not going to be the bad guy. And maybe you need to say that. I'm not just trying to point the finger at you. I really want to understand what's going on inside your heart because I want to know you. I want to walk this life with you closer and closer. And so, you know, giving space and permission and freedom for your spouse to open up is one of the best things you can do for your marriage.
It's okay to be a little messy. In fact, maybe we need a bit more mess to get to the other side.
So many marriages, I think, just fall apart after a period of, like, some people, I didn't see it coming because everything seemed okay, and it's actually that okay.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, almost. I almost see it as like, what do you call it? Like when you render over a concrete wall and you're just covering up cracks and things like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, true.
So look, be open, be vulnerable.
So good. If you've enjoyed this conversation, Darren Chapman has a lot more that you can get your hands on. Go to the website, thehappymarriage.com.au, check out more stuff, and there's an online course you can do, a marriage course you can do, which is fantastic as well. But thank you so much for coming in again, Darren.
My pleasure.